Let me ask you guys a question. How much forgiveness could you give an otherwise good vehicle in order to recommend it to people? And that is the question that I'm facing today. So today I'm going to be doing my final review of the Ford Maverick. This is a first generation 2022. And we're going to talk about the good things, which there are a lot of, but the glaring problem that it has, which is now probably going to be able to prevent me from recommending it to other people. So I have a first generation Ford Maverick. At the time, I had to wait 10 months in order to get it. That was the wait list. It was really, really popular when it was announced, and there were none on the lots. You couldn't even see it. You had to order it sight unseen, and it was a 10-month wait list. Now, at that time, wait lists for vehicles were really rare. This is about the start of when vehicles were no longer on lots. Of course, the Ford Maverick was a little more extreme. Gas prices were soaring at the time, and a fuel-efficient pickup truck, especially for city drivers, the idea was really popular. So I managed to get one really early on and only have to wait 10 months on a wait list, which is actually really short for my area. We'll start with the pros of the Ford Maverick first. There are a lot of pros. First off, the purchase price was amazing. The Ford Maverick sold for $28,000 Canadian, which was so cheap. I mean, it is still cheap. You can barely get a car for that price, and pickup trucks are usually 2 to 3 times that amount. It was actually cheaper for me to get this than it would be to get an SUV or something, and at the time I needed something that could haul. So this seemed like the perfect solution. Another pro is the small size, and by small size I mean its frame is small. They marketed this truck as a city driving truck, and no wonder. It can comfortably fit in car parking spots in busy mall centers in the heart of the city. So if you're looking for a truck that you can actually maneuver around, this would be the one. However, it's still roomy inside. It seats 4 comfortably, and I do mean actually comfortably. Of course, there's the middle 5th seat, but that's never been comfortable in any vehicle that has like the bench style back seating. But still, it's still a comfortable ride. It has a towing capacity of 2,000 pounds, which is not bad. I'm talking about the Maverick Hybrid now. So you can get a souped up version that can haul way more, but the hybrid itself can do 2,000, which is great for light to medium loads, which is probably the market they were going for with a city truck. You're talking about city drivers. They also said they wanted to get first-time truck buyers in the market, and that payload manages to do everything I need to do. I have a hobby farm. I haul feed, hay, animals, everything. So there's nothing that I haven't been able to do medium work-wise. So it does everything it needs to do up to that point. It's not your heavy-duty, F-250 or anything like that. But there's nothing that it's going to realistically not be able to do for its size. The Ford Maverick also has a lot of power hookups, so it's modernized. It has a nice screen here. When you plug in, it sends your Google Maps to your screen, which probably all vehicles do nowadays. But anyway, it's still nice to see that they kept up with the times. It has every type of outlet you would want, and the back of the pickup truck is customizable. It's hard for me to explain all the different ways you can customize the back, but it is highly customizable depending on your preferences, and it also has wired hookups in the back. So you can have an electrical outlet in your back if you want to like run power tools or something. It has everything you need wired in the back. And of course, we're talking about the Ford Maverick Hybrid, so we have to talk about the gas mileage, which is one of its biggest selling points. It gets about 37 miles per gallon combined. It gets considerably better gas mileage in the city than it does on the highway. So this is truly a city truck. It's because I'm assuming regenerative braking. Every time you brake or stop or go down a hill, it recharges your battery, which allows the truck to drive on electric for short periods of time. And that's what boosts your gas mileage. So it is excellent. On a highway, it still gets decent gas mileage, but you're not getting any of that regenerative braking. So you get actually less driving on a highway at a steady speed than you would braking in the city. So, I mean, that's something to think about. It's actually reverse of how most vehicles operate. That, of course, you're going to get way better gas mileage on the highway. All right, let's talk about the cons. The Ford Maverick doesn't have that many cons, but the ones that they have are major. So it is a new truck. It has a lot of bugs to work out. I personally had about 10 recalls for the truck. I'm not going to talk in depth about the recalls. I did a video just on the recalls because there were that many. But the conclusion I came to on the recalls were, though some sounded serious, they all managed to get taken care of. There was no charge. When I go in for oil changes, they'd fix up some. There were a lot. There were 10 that I had. I heard there were even more. It's something to consider. They probably got a lot of those bugs worked out now. I had the first generation, so now they probably have, you know, when they come off the lot, a lot of those problems are solved. It's still something to think about. I'm sure there's still an abnormal number of recalls, and it's something you need to consider. But now I'm going to get into the number one problem with the Ford Maverick. It's a major one, and it's why I probably wouldn't recommend this truck at this point in time. I've had this truck for a few years, and it hasn't been solved yet. If I had this problem, brought it into the dealership, and they fixed it, it probably would be in the back of my mind. But this is not an acceptable ongoing issue, and it is the battery. So I've had the battery go dead on me 4 or 5 times now, and it is really an ongoing pain. I boosted the truck today, and just before this video, which I was going to do regardless, so I guess it wanted to shoot itself in the foot by doing it today. And now I have a fault on my dash that says there's a powertrain issue, which there wasn't before the battery went dead. So I'm not sure if all this boosting the battery is like causing, like maybe the app malfunctioned and it's not really an issue. Maybe it is an issue and it just happened when I boosted the battery. I don't know what the situation is, and it's frustrating and annoying because this has been happening and I'm tired of it. What happens with the Ford Maverick is you're going to get a notification on your app that your truck has entered deep sleep. What it does is it does this as a last resort to keep your truck from going dead. So it just turns off all the accessories and that. This is something that should only ever happen in the middle of winter because your battery is freezing and about to go dead. And your deep sleep should be able to keep your truck alive long enough for you to start it the next time and charge the battery. Every time I get a deep sleep warning on my truck, it's already dead by the time I see it. It almost always happens the same time, like say 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and it's completely dead by the time I wake up. This is the middle of summer. So that really shouldn't be happening that way. I brought it into the dealership. The first time I brought it in, they said they tested the battery and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So maybe it was a one-off. Brought it home, kept dying, kept boosting it. It kept dying. I kept boosting it, brought it back in. They said they tested the battery and the battery came back faulty. They gave me a new battery. This was probably 2-3 months ago. Just came out today and the battery was dead again. Exact same thing. Went to deep sleep, battery went dead. What is going on? Like, they can't be constantly giving me faulty batteries. So I think there's something wrong overall with the electrical system. I would say maybe the truck's a lemon, but when I go online and search the forums, this is a really common issue with the Ford Maverick. Everybody's saying the batteries are always going dead. They're always going to sleep. And what a lot of people say you need to do is you need to turn off the Wi-Fi and all connectivity on your app or your tablet here so that the truck isn't sending out a Wi-Fi signal, because the truck does have an app, so you can start your truck remotely. You don't need a starter or anything like that. My car has the exact same type of app. I don't like that solution. I don't think I should have to disable part of my truck to save the battery. That is a programming flaw. There's clearly an issue. If I turn off the app and all connectivity, it means that I can't wirelessly start the truck in the winter. Yeah, it's a minor thing, but it's still something you get as part of the truck. It's a perk. The app, the connectivity tells you when you need your oil. It tells you if you have any issues in the truck before you even get in. Once again, tells you your battery's dying, but you shouldn't have to turn that off. I haven't tried that yet. For starters, I shouldn't have to search on the forums for a way to fix my truck. Ford should know these things and be able to do something about it. They don't even present these options to me. I have to search them all out. They're like, oh, your battery's fine, or no, your battery's dead, we replaced it. Still a problem. I still had to boost it. I use this truck for traveling. I shouldn't have to wonder if it's going to start all the time. I shouldn't have had to buy a portable booster for the truck. It's brand new. It's a couple of years old. When these issues started, it was very much brand new, and I'm tired of it. And this is the point where I say, overall, this is a good truck. If you just ignore the battery, I love everything else about the truck. I love the size. I love the portability when it comes to going around the city. You still sit high up, so you have a better view than you do of a car. You can see better. You can haul anything you need to haul when the need is there, when the need is not there, which is the case with most pickup trucks. People get a pickup truck, they get this terrible mileage because in the off chance they want to haul something, most of the time you're not hauling, and most of the time this truck has an awesome gas mileage because of that. I love the versatility. I love the way it looks. It's sleek. The interior is plastic, but it's a $28,000 truck. There's a lot to love about the truck. But I can't recommend a truck that doesn't run. Its one major problem is the biggest problem ever. It's a battery problem. I mean, yeah, an engine problem would be worse, but guess what? They'd probably fix the engine. The battery issue that they can't seem to solve is a major ongoing thing. And when you search the forums, it seems like nobody came up with a better solution than turn your apps off. I'll probably try that. I don't like it as a solution. I shouldn't have to use it as a solution. And Ford didn't even bring it up to me themselves. Like I said, I had to find that myself. So overall, would I recommend this truck? No, not until they fix that battery. The current generations, maybe they already did. That doesn't do me any good, and that's not the truck I'm reviewing. But if you are going to look into this truck, check to see if they have that issue fixed, because it will become a major issue for you when you break down in some town because your battery went dead because you didn't drive it for a couple of hours. No truck should operate that way in the summer. Thank you for joining. I'm sure I'm going to get a little bit of hate in the comments, but it is what it is. I can't say that this truck is smooth sailing with, 10 plus recalls and a major battery that just can't be fixed. So I love the Ford Maverick. I just wish it worked. Thanks for joining.